You can order your copy of my 2021 NFL Draft Guide today. What you'll get is over 550 individual prospect scouting reports like you see here, a ton of information that'll help you keep track of who your favorite team drafts or even signs as a free agent. It's all here, over 650 full color pages in PDF form. You can order your copy at the following link, footballgameplan.com/2021 draft guide. Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook here with Football Game Plan Scouting, and you know what that means. The NFL Draft and CFL Draft for 2021 is rapidly approaching, and it's time to get into our prospect rankings for this year's draft class. And before we get started, let's take a look at what the grades that you'll see by the prospects actually mean. We'll start with the field corners, and holding it down at number 1 is Patrick Surtain II out of Alabama. He's got fluid athleticism and excellent speed for the position. He can run with anyone he faces, making things very difficult for any vertical threat. I like that he's patient in his approach. He doesn't get jumpy at the first sign of conflict and is confident in his closing ability and his technique. He's a day one plug and play guy at the next level. J.C. Horn of South Carolina checks in at number 2. His dynamic athleticism and explosiveness yields itself to him potentially playing all 3 corner spots if necessary. He's very physical at the line of scrimmage as well as during the route, showing the ability to stay lockstep with the wide receiver. He plays the ball exceptionally well, breaking up 23 passes in his career while picking off another 2. Here is a look at the rest of the top 10. Ifitu Melifonwu of Syracuse is a versatile athlete who is able to play corner or safety. Robert Rochelle out of Central Arkansas has solid man coverage skills and does a really good job of pressing at the line of scrimmage with his footwork. Shamar Jean Charles of Appalachian State had a stellar career and a strong week of work at the Tropical Bowl this past January. And I think folks are sleeping on both Jason Pinnock of Pitt and Mark Gilbert out of Duke, 2 ACC corners with tremendous ability. And another small college prospect cracking the top 10 in Mac McCain out of North Carolina A&T. This dude is a ball magnet who picked off 8 passes in his career, bringing 4 of those back for touchdowns. Benjamin St. Juste of Minnesota is a long, athletic, lengthy corner who does a really good job in shrinking passing windows when going downfield. I'm a big fan of how he's able to plant and accelerate to the ball or receiver on in-breaking routes. He's got a pretty good overall skill set with room to grow. He checked in at number 11, and here is the rest of the next 10 prospects, 11 through 21. Brandon Stevens was a former running back at UCLA for 3 years before transferring to SMU and making the switch to cornerback. And having that offensive background gives him a unique advantage as far as change of direction goes. He also does a great job of adjusting to the football in the air. Chris Wilcox of BYU and Nate Hobbs of Illinois are 2 more underrated prospects with a ton of skills. Hobbs, to me, can play all 3 corner spots at the NFL level. He's just a tremendous athlete. I like the football awareness of Elijah Griffin of USC. He just has a complete understanding of the passing game, showing good savvy in zone coverage while also knowing how to use his leverage in man out there on the field. And Jalen McLean-Sapp of Marshall has good quicks and springs for the position, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him play inside as a slot corner as well. Moving on to the other side of the field with the boundary corners, and at number 1 is Caleb Farley of Virginia Tech. He plays with outstanding calm and confidence. He's never panicked out there on the field and is able to stay that consistent throughout the game. He's a top-tier cover corner with elite ball skills. His ball skills and ball instincts are at the point where quarterbacks should definitely avoid throwing his way. Asante Samuel of Florida State reminds me a lot of Jason Verrett. He has fantastic footwork and flawless technique. He's got above average press skills. It's hips, hands, and feet for him in his approach, and he's so talented with that in how he's able to press at the line of scrimmage. You just can trust him out there on the boundary. Cameron Bynum of Cal has A-plus press skills. He can reroute wide receivers and also keep them entertained at the line of scrimmage. His man-to-man skills are excellent, and he's got the athleticism to match up with anyone across the board. I feel as though he's one of the better run defenders at the position as well. Zach McPherson of Texas Tech has smooth all-around game that yields itself to him playing a very long time in the NFL. With terrific ball skills and instincts, McPherson treats jump ball situations as if he is the wide receiver, and he's not afraid to follow a team's best receiver for an entire game. And here's how the rest of the top 10 looks. Kelvin Joseph of Kentucky has a confident set of skills, as does Northwestern corner Greg Newsome II, who is physical from start to finish. Eric Stokes of Georgia has a really good bell technique, showing the ability to flip his hips and get involved in the play. And Israel Mukamal out of South Carolina is stellar in man coverage because of his length and hand usage. He plays long and tall with confidence, and it is evident in how he is able to excel in that area. Jerry Jacobs of Arkansas was excellent at Arkansas State prior to transferring to the Razorbacks, and I really like his ability in zone coverage. He's able to diagnose what's taking place in front of him and react accordingly. He's got good technical skills in that situation and in those situations as well, with his half-turn technique and his above-average agility out there on the field. Now, looking at the rest of the prospects, 11 through 20, and Cameron Kinley of Navy is a player you should definitely get familiar with. I thought he was super consistent on film and has excellent man coverage skills, both in tight man-to-man and in off coverage. UL Monroe corner Corey Strawder is a ball magnet who can thrive in a zone-heavy scheme, and Brian Mills of North Carolina Central has top-tier ball skills and instincts, along with the fluid athleticism to match up with many wide receivers. I thought he was able to hold his own down there at the Reese's Senior Bowl this past January. Finally, we move on to the slot corners, and Elijah Molden of Washington graded out as the top guy at the position. He's got tremendous football awareness, both spatially and schematically. He just understands ball and is always in the right spot. He's a great short area defender who excels on both ends of defense. Lorenzo Burns' tape at Arizona was very impressive. He has fantastic footwork and quickness. His feet are a quiet pitter-patter and can snap out of a back pedal when driving on a route or on the ball that's in front of him. He's got the lateral agility and quickness of a point guard and can be an A-plus blitzer coming off the short corner as well. Avery Williams of Boise State is an elite special teamer, two-time Mountain West Conference Special Teams Player of the Year with 6 punt return touchdowns on his resume. He's got ridiculous stop and start agility, showing a strong ability as a mirror and match defender. He's also a good open field tackler, and I can even see a lane for him to be a combo safety as well. He's just an all-around good football player you want on your defense. Looking at the rest of the top 10 slot corners, and Kerry Vincent of LSU has both top-end speed and versatility. He's able to match up versus a team's fastest wideout and follow him across the field. He does a great job of shrinking space between he and the receiver and is able to attack the ball at its highest point. Thomas Graham of Oregon is a hip pocket type corner, one that gets his hands on a lot of balls in coverage, and if he's near the football, best believe is getting challenged. Aaron Robinson of UCF is one of the more impressive at the position because he's able to find a way to press inside as a slot corner because of his excellent footwork and patience. I was highly impressed with his game on film. Brandon Eccles of Kentucky has some toughness about his game that shows up in run support and how he attacks a receiver's block and how he'll sacrifice his body when taking out a pulling offensive lineman. He's the quintessential definition of what a scrappy player looks like. And here's the rest of the slot corner prospects in this draft class. Again, no shortage of talent across the board. Guys like Isaiah Dunn out of Oregon State and E.J. Muhammad out of Nevada are among some of the more underrated guys at the position. So that's it for this edition of Football Game Plan Scouting. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Be sure to follow me on all of my social media accounts. And don't forget to check out and subscribe to the Football Game Plan Network located at youtube.com/footballgameplan. Also subscribe on iTunes to Football Game Plan Podcast and leave us a 5-star rating. That's where you can find our Scout Team podcast, and keep it locked every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the Game Plus Network for our Scout Team show, where we will have a lot more of NFL and CFL draft related content coming down the pike.